The energy inside the Tokyo Dome reached an almost indescribable peak on the second night of BTS's highly anticipated world tour, as Park Jimin stepped onto the stage and delivered a performance that left tens of thousands of fans breathless. From the very first moment the lights dimmed, a wave of anticipation swept across the massive venue. The crowd, already electrified by the opening acts and the group's earlier performances, erupted into thunderous cheers the instant Jimin appeared, his silhouette illuminated against a sea of shimmering light sticks. Dressed in an outfit that perfectly balanced elegance and intensity, Jimin commanded attention without saying a single word. His presence alone seemed to shift the atmosphere, drawing every eye in the stadium toward him. As the music began to build, a deep, resonant bass echoing through the arena, Jimin moved with a level of precision and emotional depth that has become his signature. Each step, each turn, each subtle gesture told a story, one that transcended language and connected directly with the hearts of the audience. Fans described the moment as electric, unreal, and even life-changing. As Jimin transitioned into the core of his choreography, his movements became sharper, more powerful, yet never losing the fluid grace that defines his style. The choreography itself was a masterclass in contrast, explosive bursts of energy followed by delicate, almost fragile moments of stillness. It was in these contrasts that Jimin's artistry truly shined, as he effortlessly shifted between intensity and vulnerability. The massive screens surrounding the stage captured every detail, the focus in his eyes, the controlled tension in his movements, and the raw emotion that radiated from him. Even fans seated far from the stage felt intimately connected to the performance, as though Jimin was dancing just for them. The synchronization between his movements and the music was flawless, creating a seamless blend of sound and motion that felt almost cinematic. As the performance progressed, the crowd's reaction grew louder and more fervent. Chants of his name echoed throughout the Tokyo Dome, merging into a powerful chorus that seemed to fuel Jimin even further. He responded with an even more intense display of skill, pushing the limits of his performance in a way that felt both spontaneous and meticulously crafted. It was clear that this was not just a routine, it was a moment, a statement, a memory in the making. One of the most unforgettable highlights came during a dramatic break in the music. The lights dimmed, leaving only a single spotlight on Jimin as he executed a series of intricate, almost gravity-defying movements. The silence in the arena was palpable, as if tens of thousands of people were holding their breath at the same time. Then, as the beat dropped again, the explosion of sound and motion that followed sent the entire stadium into a frenzy. What made the performance even more remarkable was the emotional connection Jimin established with the audience. Beyond the technical brilliance and physical precision, there was a sincerity in his expression that resonated deeply with fans. It felt personal, as though he was sharing a part of himself through every movement. This authenticity is what has long set Jimin apart as a performer, and on this night, it was on full display. Social media quickly became flooded with reactions from fans who had witnessed the performance live, as well as those watching from around the world. Clips of Jimin's dance spread rapidly, accompanied by captions praising his artistry, stage presence, and unmatched charisma. Many fans noted that even after years of watching him perform, he continues to evolve and surprise, constantly raising the bar for what is possible on stage. Industry experts and critics were equally impressed, highlighting the performance as one of the standout moments of the entire tour. Some described it as a defining example of modern K-pop performance, where music, dance, and visual storytelling come together to create an immersive experience. Others pointed to Jimin's ability to balance technical excellence with emotional depth, a combination that is rarely achieved at such a high level. As the performance came to an end, Jimin stood at the center of the stage, breathing heavily but smiling softly as he took in the overwhelming response from the crowd. The applause was deafening, a sustained roar of appreciation that seemed to go on endlessly. In that moment, it was clear that something special had just occurred, something that would be remembered long after the lights of the Tokyo Dome had faded. The second day of BTS's concert in Tokyo was filled with unforgettable moments, but Jimin's performance stood out as a true highlight. It was not just a display of talent, but a powerful reminder of the impact that music and performance can have when delivered with passion, dedication, and authenticity. For those who were there, it was more than just a concert. It was an experience, a connection, and a memory that will last a lifetime. As the night continued and the group moved on to their next stages, the echoes of Jimin's performance lingered in the air. Fans continued to talk about it, replaying the moment in their minds, sharing their excitement with others, and celebrating the artistry they had just witnessed. It was a testament to the power of performance at its highest level, and a clear indication that Jimin remains one of the most captivating performers in the world today. In the end, what happened at the Tokyo Dome on that second night was more than just a show. It was a moment of pure magic, created by an artist who understands not only how to perform, but how to connect, inspire, and leave a lasting impression. And as fans left the venue, their voices still hoarse from cheering, one thing was certain: Jimin had once again proven why he is considered one of the brightest stars on the global stage. The resonance of that performance did not fade when the music stopped. Instead, it seemed to grow stronger, lingering in every corner of the Tokyo Dome and in the hearts of everyone who had witnessed it. As the stage lights softened and transitioned into the next segment of the concert, fans were still visibly shaken in the best way possible by what they had just experienced. Jimin, known for his relentless dedication to his craft, appeared moments later alongside the other members, seamlessly shifting from a powerful solo presence back into the unity of the group. Yet even within the group formations, there was an undeniable aura surrounding him that night. It was as if the energy from his earlier performance continued to radiate outward, amplifying every move, every glance, every interaction. Throughout the rest of the show, fans remained hyper-aware, eagerly anticipating every moment Jimin stepped forward. Each time he did, the crowd responded instantly, cheers rising. Light sticks waving more intensely, voices calling out his name with renewed passion. It became clear that his Day 2 performance had created a ripple effect, elevating the emotional intensity of the entire concert. Backstage reports later suggested that Jimin had been deeply focused leading up to the show, rehearsing tirelessly and refining every detail of his choreography. Those close to the production hinted that he had made subtle last-minute adjustments, determined to deliver something even more impactful than the first night. If that was the case, his efforts paid off in a way that exceeded all expectations. Fans who attended both days of the concert noted the difference immediately. While the first night had been incredible in its own right, the second night carried a sharper edge, more emotion, more power, more connection. And at the center of that evolution was Jimin, pushing himself beyond limits that already seemed impossibly high. As the concert approached its final stages, a sense of bittersweet emotion began to settle over the audience. The realization that the night was coming to an end only made every remaining moment feel more precious. During the closing met, when the members took turns addressing the crowd, Jimin's words, though simple, carried a weight that resonated deeply. His voice, slightly breathless yet sincere, reflected both gratitude and a quiet intensity, as if he too understood just how special this night had been. When the final song concluded and the members gathered at the front of the stage, the Tokyo Dome transformed into a sea of light and emotion. Fans sang along, some with tears in their eyes, others smiling through the overwhelming joy of the experience. Jimin looked out across the crowd, taking in the moment, his expression soft yet filled with a sense of accomplishment. Even as the lights began to dim and the members prepared to exit, the crowd refused to let go. Chants continued, echoing long after the stage had gone dark. It was not just an attempt to hold on to the night a little longer. It was a collective acknowledgement of something extraordinary that had just taken place. Outside the venue, the energy persisted. Fans gathered in groups, replaying clips on their phones, sharing reactions, and trying to put into words what they had just witnessed. Many struggled to fully capture it, often falling back on a single phrase, "You had to be there." It was the kind of performance that transcended recordings, something that lived most vividly in memory and emotion. In the hours that followed, online platforms were flooded with praise, analysis, and admiration. Dance professionals broke down his movements, highlighting the precision and control behind every sequence. Longtime fans reflected on his growth over the years, pointing out how each performance seems to mark a new chapter in his artistic journey. New viewers, drawn in by viral clips, found themselves instantly captivated, eager to learn more about the performer behind such a powerful stage presence. What stood out across all reactions was a shared understanding. This was not just another concert moment. It was a defining performance, one that would be referenced, remembered, and celebrated for years to come. Jimin had not only met expectations, he had redefined them. And as the tour prepared to move on to its next destination, one question lingered in the minds of fans around the world. How could anything top what had just happened at Tokyo Dome on Day 2? Yet if there is one thing Jimin has proven time and time again, it is that he thrives on surpassing the impossible. For now, though, the memory remains untouched, a perfect, electrifying moment in time where music, movement, and emotion aligned flawlessly. A night where one artist stood on one of the world's biggest stages and reminded everyone watching exactly what it means to truly perform. In the days that followed, the impact of that unforgettable second night at Tokyo Dome only continued to expand. What had begun as a single, electrifying performance quickly evolved into a global conversation. Across continents and time zones, fans revisited the moment again and again, analyzing every movement, every expression, every second that made Jimin's stage presence feel almost otherworldly. Clips of the performance circulated endlessly, each angle revealing something new, an overlooked detail, a subtle shift in emotion, a moment of breathtaking control. Dance communities in particular were captivated. Professionals and enthusiasts alike pointed out the technical brilliance behind Jimin's execution, the precision of his footwork, the control in his transitions, and the way he used his entire body as an instrument of storytelling. Yet beyond the technique, what truly set the performance apart was the emotion embedded within it. There was a rawness to it, a sense that Jimin was not merely performing choreography but living it in real time. This authenticity resonated deeply, not just with longtime fans, but also with new audiences who found themselves drawn in by the sheer intensity of his presence. Many described the performance as cinematic, as though it belonged not only on a concert stage, but on a much larger artistic platform. Media outlets soon began highlighting the Tokyo Dome show as one of the most defining stops of the tour, with particular emphasis on Jimin's contribution. Headlines praised his ability to command such a massive venue while maintaining an intimate connection with the audience. Critics noted that even in a group known for its exceptional performers, Jimin managed to carve out a moment that felt uniquely his own. Behind the scenes, the story was just as compelling. Insiders hinted at the immense preparation that led up to that night, hours of rehearsal, repeated refinements, and a level of self-discipline that bordered on perfectionism. Jimin has long been known for his relentless work ethic, but this performance seemed to represent a new peak, a culmination of years of growth and dedication. Fellow members too were said to be deeply impressed. Though each of them brought their own strengths to the stage, there was a shared recognition that something extraordinary had occurred. Subtle gestures during the show, glances, smiles, moments of acknowledgement, suggested a quiet pride in what Jimin had achieved. As anticipation built for the next stops on the tour, fans began to wonder how this moment would influence future performances. Would Jimin attempt to recreate the same magic, or would he push even further into new territory? The uncertainty only added to the excitement, turning each upcoming concert into a highly anticipated event. Meanwhile, within fan communities, the Tokyo Dome Day 2 performance took on an almost legendary status. It became a reference point, a standard against which other performances would be measured. Discussions ranged from detailed breakdowns of specific movements to emotional reflections on what the performance meant on a personal level. For many, it was not just entertainment but inspiration. Some fans spoke about how the performance reignited their passion for dance or art. Others described feeling a renewed sense of motivation, inspired by Jimin's dedication and ability to continually evolve. In this way, the impact of the performance extended far beyond the stage, influencing lives in subtle yet meaningful ways. As time passed, the memory of that night remained vivid. Even as new performances were added to the tour and new highlights emerged, there was something uniquely enduring about Tokyo Dome Day 2. It was not overshadowed or replaced. Instead, it stood firmly as a defining moment in an already remarkable career. Looking ahead, industry observers began to speculate on what this meant for Jimin's artistic future. With each performance, he seemed to blur the line between idol and artist, between entertainer and storyteller. The Tokyo Dome stage had become more than just a venue, it had become a canvas, and on that canvas Jimin had painted something unforgettable. And yet, for all its scale and spectacle, what made the moment truly powerful was its sincerity. Beneath the lights, the choreography, and the roar of the crowd was a simple truth. An artist giving everything he had, fully present in the moment, sharing something genuine with the world. That is what lingered long after the music faded, not just the image of a flawless performance but the feeling it left behind. A reminder that at its best, performance is not just something you watch but something you feel. And on that night in Tokyo, Jimin made sure it was felt by everyone. As the tour continued to move from city to city, the shadow of Tokyo Dome Day 2 followed closely behind, not as a burden but as a benchmark. Each new stage brought fresh energy, new visuals, and evolving performances, yet fans and critics alike couldn't help but trace everything back to that singular night. It had become more than a highlight, it was a turning point. Jimin, however, did not appear weighed down by expectations. If anything, he seemed even more driven. Observers began to notice subtle evolutions in his performances, small adjustments in timing, deeper emotional expression, sharper execution. It was as if he had unlocked a new level of artistry, one that allowed him to push boundaries without losing the essence of what made his performances so compelling. In subsequent shows, there were moments where echoes of Tokyo could be felt, not in repetition but in spirit. A certain intensity in his gaze, a heightened control in his movements, a confidence that radiated more powerfully than ever before. Yet each performance remained distinct, shaped by the unique atmosphere of each city and the energy of each audience. Fans who followed multiple tour stops began to describe this era as a new chapter for Jimin. They spoke about how his stage presence felt more expansive, more fearless. There was a growing sense that he was no longer just delivering performances, he was creating experiences, each one tailored to the moment, yet all connected by a deeper artistic vision. Behind the scenes, the demands were relentless. The physical strain of touring, combined with the pressure to continuously deliver at such a high level, would challenge any performer, yet Jimin's consistency remained remarkable. His discipline, both mental and physical, allowed him to maintain a level of excellence that few could match. Interviews and behind-the-scenes glimpses revealed glimpses of his mindset. He spoke about the importance of growth, of never becoming complacent, of always searching for something more. For Jimin, it was not enough to be good. It was about becoming better again and again, no matter how high the bar had already been set. Industry professionals began to take even greater notice. Choreographers praised his ability to interpret movement with such nuance. Vocal coaches highlighted how he balanced intense choreography with stable live vocals. Performance directors pointed to his understanding of stage dynamics, his instinct for knowing exactly how to fill a space as vast as a stadium while still connecting on a personal level. As awards season approached, speculation grew about potential recognitions. While BTS as a group had already achieved global acclaim, there was increasing conversation around individual artistry, and Jimin's name was frequently at the center of those discussions. Not because of a single performance alone, but because of the consistency and growth that performance represented. Back within the fan community, creative expressions inspired by that Tokyo Dome moment continued to emerge. Fan art, dance covers, detailed essays, and even documentary-style edits appeared